Y'all, even the most calm and patient parent is gonna lose it from time to time. While more patience is always the goal, it's a small fact of life that we're gonna slip up, we're gonna make mistakes as parents, and we're gonna lose it on our kids from time to time. And I think that if we can kind of push the guilt aside, right, and get out of our feelings, and see these moments as wonderful teaching moments, then I think that they're golden, right? Because here's the thing, modeling is the best way we teach our children, right? And we can model for them when we make mistakes what it looks like to be human, what it looks like to make mistakes, and then of course, most importantly, what it looks like to repair and recover from those mistakes, right? How we can get, apologize with people and get closer with people and actually increase the connection in our relationships through the reparation process. So, with all that said, I'm going to be sharing my simple 10-step guide that you can use when you lose it on your little ones and you want to focus on repairing your mistake with them. So without further ado, let's just get on into it.
Hey, why are you not subscribed to my mom's channel?
So the first thing you're going to want to do after you done lost it on your little one is focus on bringing yourself back down to baseline. This is really, really important. We can't do all the other 9 steps until we've calmed down and come back down to baseline. So whether that's deep breathing, whether that's taking a break, splashing water on your face, calling a friend, texting somebody, whatever you need to do to just kind of calm your nervous system down, bring yourself back down to the present moment. That's going to be number 1. Step number 2, and you can do this while you're calming yourself down, is you're gonna want to tell yourself something positive about your child and most importantly about yourself, right? When we make mistakes in parenting, we love to beat ourselves up, right? We love to tell ourselves what a horrible mom we are, how we're never gonna get this right, how our kid is gonna grow up to hate us and blah, 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 right? All the negative self-talk starts to settle in. So your best bet is you're gonna wanna fight back. You're going to want to respond back to those negative statements by telling yourself something positive. I am a good mom. Bad moments don't make me a bad mom. I'm doing the best that I can. I can recover from this. We can recover from this. My child is doing the best that they can. They will forgive me, right? You're going to want to set yourself up for success by showering yourself with lots of compassion and a lot of positive self-talk, not only about your child, but also about yourself. And step number 3 is you're gonna want to try to see the situation that triggered your anger in a different way. So often when we respond in anger, it's because we're responding out of autopilot and our empathy has flown out the window. All we can focus on is that this is so frustrating, this is so irritating, why won't they stop? All those kinds of things. So you're gonna wanna challenge yourself to try to see the situation from your child's eyes. What were they thinking in those moments? How were they feeling in those moments? What might have caused them to do what they did so that you can draw some more compassion for them? Step number 4 is you're gonna want to take responsibility for your actions. So often what happens is we have all this guilt, but then we rush to defend ourselves. Well, if they hadn't tipped that over, I wouldn't have got mad. Or, well, if they would have been nicer to their sister, then I wouldn't have flashed on them, right? Well, if they would have just listened to me, then XYZ, right? You fill in the blank. But it's really important in this process to focus and acknowledge your wrongdoings and take responsibility, right? Because no one can make you feel a certain way unless you let them, right? We have to take responsibility for how we feel and the actions that pursue. We are the adults in these situations and we have to constantly remind ourselves of that. Step number 5 is you're gonna want to apologize to your child. This step is really, really important, and it starts with getting down on their level and sincerely apologizing to them. And you can say something like, look, mommy is so sorry for yelling at you just a moment ago. I got really mad. So you want to identify your feelings, own up to your feelings, model that, everybody feels mad from time to time. I got really mad in that moment, but I shouldn't have yelled. Okay? Period. End of discussion. There's no buts when we make an apology, because keep in mind, when we say an apology and then we add but, we're negating what we just said, right? Now we're throwing them on the defense. Now it's not really about apologizing. It's about blaming the other person for your actions. So you're going to want to say, yes, I got upset. I'm sorry for getting upset. I shouldn't have done that. End of discussion. Okay, so we're not.
But you should have listened. But you shouldn't have smacked your sister. But no.
Okay? That's not what an apology is made of, okay? Now, step number 6 is you can offer them some physical affection, some hugs, some kisses, some bonding time, just to sit in that moment with them if they want it. Okay, so always read your child's cues. If they're not ready for all of that, no worries, no pushing involved, but you just want to offer it to them if they're open to it. And then step number 7 is to allow your child to share with you how they felt in those moments, what that experience was like when you yelled at them. I think that's one of the biggest parts of this reparation process, is to really honor and provide space for your child to open up to you on how the process was for them. You know, how are you feeling when mommy yelled at you? What was going on through your mind? What was this experience like? I want to hear that part, right? I know this is hard to sit with, but when your child feels heard, when they feel seen, when they feel validated, and when they feel like you really care about how that experience was for them, that is a huge part of the healing process, right? So it's about not only acknowledging it within ourselves, taking ownership and apologizing, but taking it a step further and inviting them to share with you what that experience was like. Now, this step might not apply to everyone. If your child is on the younger side, they might not be able to verbalize their feelings, so you might skip this step. But again, you want to come from that place. You want to come from that energy of, I take responsibility and I want to connect with you. Our relationship is so important that I want to hear what you have to say. And then step number 8 is you want to take that apology to the next level by working on prevention, right? What can you do in those moments a little bit differently to prevent yourself from losing your cool? So these are things that you can reflect on with yourself. And then once you have a plan, share that with your child. This is, again, such great modeling opportunity, right? To be like, okay, when I get mad again, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go sit down somewhere. I'm going to take a glass of water. I'm going to splash water on my face. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to take some deep breaths. Whatever it is you've decided that is your go-to strategy in the moment to bring yourself down to baseline, share that with your child, right? Because again, that's great modeling for them. And those are things that maybe they can try in the future when they themselves get upset and get mad. Step number 9, which I think is so important, is to forgive yourself. Please know that we cannot make changes on ourselves if we're beating ourselves up all the time, right? Guilt does not produce change. Self-compassion does, right? And that's for any relationship. Our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with our spouse, our relationship with our friends and family, and our relationship with our child, right? People cannot do better unless we meet them with lots of compassion, if we start from that place. And that goes for ourselves too, right? We have to offer ourselves so much compassion during these moments when everything in us wants to tell us we are a bad mom, we are a screw up, we're never gonna get this thing right. It's so important to challenge those beliefs and have faith in yourself and have hope that change is possible. And the change won't be possible unless we start with that first step of really forgiving ourselves and offering ourselves lots of compassion. Step number 10 is really about focusing on progress and not perfection, right? Again, we're not going to always get this right. Even the most calm, patient person in the world is going to lose it from time to time. I mean, it's just a part of the human process, right? We can't always control our emotions. And I hope this process, I hope this video helps you offer more compassion for your child too, right? Because they're going to get in their own moods and tudes. They're not going to be able to regulate their feelings feelings all the time. And so when we can, you know, have compassion for ourselves, we're more likely going to have compassion for them as well. So really take note of what are your common triggers when it comes to parenting, and get proactive about it. You know, when you're calm, in a calm state, maybe journal about it. Maybe talk to your spouse or a friend about, you know, what are your triggers and what can you do differently in those moments. So if your trigger is tantrums, what can you do in those moments to regulate yourself, bring yourself back down to baseline, and make sure you're not getting sucked into their feelings and their emotions, right? Is it that you need to take more breaks? Is it that you need to challenge your perspectives during these moments? Is it that you need to ask for more support? You need better self-care practices. Take inventory of what's working for you right now and what's not working for you, and get proactive by coming up with a plan on how you're going to handle your triggers, because they will happen again. So it's about getting proactive. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. That really does help my channel. And watch some of these videos down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.